And I call my manager. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to come in tomorrow. My car's totaled. And he's like, yeah, just see if you can find someone, to fill in to cover your shift. And I'm like, what? My bitch ass didn't even have to fucking call you. What's up, world? What's up, free thinkers? I actually got fired into entrepreneurship, and it's quite an interesting story. I was at a physical therapy practice. 3 weeks into it, I was like, nah, I don't want to do this no more. Doing the same thing over and over and over again. Just even though patients come in all different shapes, sizes, and abnormalities or discomforts, like overall from what I was seeing, this is something I just didn't want to do. But that 3 weeks ended up turning into 5 years. It was stressful. I remember there was a time where my paycheck was like short, and my manager like walked out and was like, how could that happen? And it's like, what, he left for a day. And I was like, okay, this guy doesn't care about me. Probably 2 months before I got fired, I got into a car accident. I'm at the scene of the accident, and I call my manager. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to come in tomorrow. My car's totaled. And he's like, yeah, just see if you can find someone, to fill in to cover your shift. And I'm like, what? My bitch ass didn't even have to fucking call you to tell you, hey, I'm not coming in tomorrow. I was in an accident. And then you have the audacity to tell me to find someone to fill in my spot. Okay. From that point on, I knew that something was going to happen. And how are you doing? Are you okay? Like, let me be a manager and try to find someone to cover your shift. Nope. He wanted me to do it. And like a dum-dum, I did that. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? The office key, I took it off of my keychain and I just had it loosely in my pocket. And I was like, they're either going to say something that pissed me off and I'm going to just chunk the deuce and leave, or they're either going to fire me. Like, everybody and their mama knew that, like, I was bigger than what it was. Because there was even patients that would buy books from me, low key. And there was patients that would be like, hey, you've written 2 books. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, so why the fuck are you here? Like, why are you at this front desk? Like, I would always use my restroom breaks to like respond to clients, send out invoices. Of course, my lunch breaks was straight for like one-on-one phone calls. And so there was one day where he's like, Terrence, what time do you go to lunch? So I told him. He's like, okay, can you mind switching with your coworker? I'm like, sure. And so once he asked me to change my lunch shift, I knew something was gonna happen. I knew that, hey, I'm about to get fired. This is it. So in his office, and he told me the news, and there's no bad blood, no animosity, nothing like that. I think we were even cracking jokes towards the end. I got denied unemployment. I was applying for jobs, and I think I spent like 3 or 4 days from the day I got fired applying for jobs, because I have a wife, 3 kids, and my mom lives here. It's like, during this time, people are laying people off for COVID. They're not really hiring people. I notify some of my clients and let them know, hey, my schedule's free, just in case, you have some projects that you need me to knock out. And so they did just that. My wife's like, if you're going to do this full times, you need a big boy, just get rid of the Chromebook, because you can't install software. You can't design Photoshop and a whole Adobe suite on a Chromebook. You can use some of the web-based stuff, but you can't get down to the nitty-gritty. I needed something that worked offline as well. So we go to Best Buy, and my wife's like, hey, why don't you get this MacBook? I didn't really know anything about like the Mac computer. I just figured that shit was fucking expensive. They offered like, hey, you can get a credit card. And I was like, I don't know, because I didn't have any credit cards. I've just been anti-credit card. So my stomach was in knots. I was like pacing back and forth. Like, I just didn't feel good. And I was like, I can't believe I'm about to spend 2 G's or whatever on this MacBook, and I did it, and it paid for itself in less than a month. Maybe a few weeks even. And so I learned that, hey, like, when you want something, you just got to go for it. So that's how I got fired, and I've literally been working for myself since.